Coming up today on Breeze TV.
The UVA community comes together to mourn the loss of fellow classmates.
And how to stay safe this flu season as the virus takes over campus.
Plus, JMU Volleyball strikes down the competition.
Then, feel it, don't conceal it at a reimagined Frozen production.
All this and more on today's Thanksgiving episode of Breeze TV.
Live from the Allison B. Parker Studio in the School of Media Arts and Design at James Madison University, this is Breeze TV.
Welcome back to Breeze TV. I'm Maggie Rickerby.
And I'm Joshua Dixon. At today's Board of Visitors meeting, it was announced that JMU alumni Angelia and Carl Reddick have donated $1.1 million to build the Reddick Centennial Scholarship Endowment, a center for first-generation students. Additionally, the school announced their goal to boost student engagement with the Career Center by 25%. Dr. Miles Surratt also shared data that revealed 95.6% of 2021 graduates have found a career post-graduation. Tim Miller and Heather J. Coltman also introduced a new internship task force.
A memorial service for 3 UVA football players killed on Sunday, Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry, will happen tomorrow at 3 p.m. in the John Paul Jones Arena. Breeze TV's news director, Zoe Mowry, was there in the days after the shooting to show us how the UVA community is honoring the victims and coping with the tragedy.
Silence was the loudest thing on the grounds of the University of Virginia as students gathered Monday night to mourn the death of 3 football players, linebacker Deshaun Perry and wide receivers Lavelle Davis Jr. and Devin Chandler. Following a shooting Sunday night, 2 other students were injured, running back Mike Collins and another unnamed student, both who are doing well, according to the UVA hospital.
My heart is broken for the victims and their families and for all those who knew and loved them, and they are all in my prayers. As I've said before, when I see our students, I see my own kids.
Friends, family, and community members all turned to social media to share fond memories of the 3 players. Jack Hamilton, a professor at UVA, had both Chandler and Davis in his class. He said Chandler was an unbelievably nice person, always a huge smile, really gregarious and funny, one of those people who's just impossible not to like. And while quieter, Davis was loved by all his classmates. Perry's family said in a statement he was a loving, giving, caring, God-fearing young man who was full of life and potential and who made his family proud. Their head coach also expressed his and the team's memories.
Just his presence. He's got a gentleness about him, passionate about what he believes in. The other thing that resonated is just how good of a teammate he was and how much, he loved his teammates and would do anything for his teammates. Very, very, very artistic, loved music, very, very cultured and well-rounded. And he had a sense of humor that was one of a kind that only Deshaun could have. He's what you wanted in a young person that's at this level, but he just was a big kid. Smiled all the time, loved to dance, loved to sing. He always brought a smile to my face because he just was happy with where he was, comfortable in his skin.
These 3 men left lasting impacts on their community. UVA, Charlottesville, and especially their team will continue to grow their legacy.
They're like my family here, and growing, build that relationship with them, it's about to be I'm on my 3rd year here, like they're real life family and everything. So being with them, it's a blessing. I love it.
There are GoFundMes for each player's family that have accumulated over $400,000 in total. Reporting from Charlottesville for Breeze TV, I'm Zoe Mowry.
Right here in the Valley, there's been an outpour of support for UVA. Many JMU students and community members attended the vigil on the steps of Wilson Hall Wednesday night. Although not everyone in attendance has a direct connection, there was an outpour of love for our peers across the mountain. JMU administration and student leaders came together to organize a space for people to grieve.
Any loss of life is a tragedy, but I think a young person is even worse, and there might be battles on, sporting fields and things like that, but these are times when we're one community that looks out for each other and takes care of each other.
Miller was proud of the turnout and sympathy given from JMU students. However, he hopes to never have another vigil on a college campus again.
Before we go, we'd like to have a moment of silence to honor the lives of Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry, the 3 victims of the UVA shooting.
We'd like to dedicate this show to them.
Bojangles, Cajun filet biscuit. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Breakfast so good, we serve it all day. Get the best chicken biscuit. The one, the only Cajun filet biscuit. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun filet biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time. The one, the only Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit is so good, we serve it all day. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true. But it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate mountain.
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
And Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom.
Reaching residential areas.
And your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
This is Breeze TV.
Flu cases are on the rise this season, hitting Virginia harder than usual. According to the CDC, 8.8% of emergency room and urgent care visits have been due to flu-like symptoms. Virginia also has reached 9,081 reported cases of the flu this season so far. To prevent the flu, the University Health Center will be offering flu shots for $20. However, if you start developing symptoms, the most important thing to do is stay home, stay smart, and protect yourself and others this flu season.
A community of diabetics and advocates come together here on campus to promote awareness for both types of diabetes. Diabetes is a condition that is often misunderstood. Cynthia Martin, the mother of a son with type 1 diabetes, said that she advocates to destigmatize misconceptions so symptoms can be recognized early on.
I think raising awareness about type 1 diabetes and the signs of type 1 diabetes is so important so that other families aren't caught unaware and miss the signs like we did.
Senior Richard Myers, a member of the College Diabetes Network at JMU, said that diabetes is not something you notice about someone right away.
They call it an invisible disability. A lot of people, they look at me and they don't know that I have diabetes, right? They maybe see me taking an insulin shot or something like that, and they get really surprised about what's going on.
Julia Weaver, former studio director at Breeze TV and type 1 diabetic, finds support through her diabetic alert dog, Maverick. She said that her experience affects her mental health as well as her physical health.
I try to stay positive about it because I do have a disease that I can live with and I can still have a long, happy life. It's just, there's a lot of daily responsibilities that not a lot of other people have to think about.
Although managing diabetes can be tough, raising awareness makes the journey easier. Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Maggie Rickerby.
Great stuff there. National Native American Heritage Month. The month highlights the representation of Indigenous people. Corinne Martin, a member of the Native American Student Union at JMU, said it is important to support Indigenous representation year-round.
I grew up loving to read, but I didn't often see myself represented in the things I was reading. And that can have a big toll on like your self-identity and your self-esteem when you feel like all the characters I love, all the stories I love don't highlight who I am.
Opens the door for non-Indigenous people to support and learn about the marginalization Native communities around them. For Native people, this is a time to memorialize their history and celebrate pride.
The importance of Native Heritage Month is saying like we are still here, we are strong communities, we have been resilient past like all of the hardships our communities have faced. It is really important to talk about Native people, especially during Native Heritage Month, but it also, just like with any month commemorating different groups of people, I think it's really important that your support and your awareness doesn't stop on December 1st.
One of the ways students can continue their support for Native peers is by interacting with the Native American Student Union. The organization is welcome to anyone and always looking for new members. Through uniting Native students and non-Indigenous allies, the union creates a community centered around Native pride.
Stop, look, and listen. A simple childhood saying that slips everyone's mind from time to time. Harrisonburg Transit buses are equipped with many features and experienced drivers to keep everyone safe, but it is the job of everyone on the road or foot to be cautious.
Make sure you're aware of your surroundings and just be courteous. We're all in a hurry, we're all trying to get to class, the buses are trying to get to their stops on schedule, get everyone home on time. But it's important that we all take that extra second and make sure that we're observing the rules of the road.
Pedestrians, drivers, and passengers need to stop, look, and listen when crossing the street. Parks wants to remind everyone that it only takes a fraction of a second for something bad to happen. Coming up here in the second half,
JMU Women's Volleyball brings home the hardware.
And a preview to JMU's second-to-last football game this season.
Then a recap of the historic seasons of both soccer programs.
Stay tuned for all this and more right here on Breeze TV.
Bojangles, Cajun Filet Biscuit. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun Spice Chicken Breast Filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Breakfast so good, we serve it all day. Get the best chicken biscuit, the one, the only Cajun Filet Biscuit. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time. The one, the only Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun Spice Chicken Breast Filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit is so good, we serve it all day. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true, but it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
This is Breeze TV.
Welcome back to Breeze TV. JMU Volleyball has begun its play in the Sun Belt Tournament today in Alabama against Georgia Southern. The team ended their season last Saturday, which was the team's last match at Godwin Hall, with the team set to locate to the new Convocation Center for home matches next season. The Dukes were able to clinch the regular season conference title and begin the tournament with a bye, finishing 15-1 in conference play. Senior Caroline Dozier discussed how the team is approaching the tournament.
To play good competition, I think that's really, the Sun Belt's a good competition throughout, and I think that's really exciting for us to go in and really earn our spot and earn that ring. I mean, we're ready to win, and I'm excited for the opportunity and just to really execute as a team and do it as a team playing together.
Head coach Lauren Steinbrecher, who won Sun Belt Coach of the Year, says that the team is hungry to reach their ultimate season goal in a conference tournament championship. The Dukes will look to play throughout the weekend and complete that goal, with the final scheduled for Sunday at 2 p.m.
The 4-6 Georgia State Panthers are what's up next for JMU football. The Panthers are 4-2 over their last 6 games and have an offense that averages just over 29 points per game. It's the run game that really stands out, averaging 241 yards per game on the ground. Redshirt junior safety Francis Meehan spoke on what the defense needs to do heading into this week's game.
Very heavy run team, and they really do like the play action. So for us, as a secondary, we just can't get caught in the run. We have to stay very focused and locked in on our keys so that when the opportunities do come, we're in the right spot.
The Dukes will look to pick up their 7th win of the season after winning their 6th last week, which would have made them bowl eligible if rules allowed. The game against Georgia State is the second to last game of the season in a 2-game home stretch. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. at Bridgeford Stadium. With JMU athletics moving into a new conference this season, many teams have already been able to find success in the Sun Belt. Our reporter Colby Reese has more. Colby?
Thanks, Josh. After an up-and-down season, JMU men's soccer was able to have a successful run in the Sun Belt Championship Tournament. The team entered as the 7th seed. After falling to Marshall in the regular season finale, the Dukes were able to beat Marshall in the quarterfinal of the tournament. JMU carried that momentum into the semifinals against Georgia State, where they would score their most goals since 2019 in a dominant 5-0 win. In the final, which is the program's 4th conference title game in 5 seasons, JMU fell to Kentucky, who went on to become the #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Women's soccer also had much success this season. The Dukes were able to secure a 1-0 win against Texas State in the quarterfinals and keep their 12th clean sheet of the season to set a single-season team record. In the semis, the team got past Georgia State in double overtime to get their 12th win of the season, their most since 2015. In the final, the team was unable to rely on their dominant defense and ultimately fell 4-3 in double overtime against Old Dominion. Neither the women's nor men's soccer programs received at-large bids into the NCAA tournament. JMU widened their lead in the Royal Rivalry competition 5.5 to 2.5. The Dukes took down the Old Dominion Monarchs in dominating fashion 37-3. Quarterback Todd Centeio led the way, throwing for over 300 yards and walking away as the Oyster Bowl MVP. Redshirt senior wide receiver Chris Thornton acknowledged the extra motivation from the cross-state rival.
Team, so it feels good, going up against people we know. It's an in-state rival technically, so it's a great win to have.
Thornton surpassed Brandon Ravenaugh in career receiving yards and passed Gary Clark in career receptions. Defensively, the team had 3 interceptions, including a pick 6 by sophomore linebacker Jalen Walker. The team will look to carry this momentum into the previously mentioned Georgia State game. With even more in the world of sports, here's our reporter, Eric Shellhouse.
Thanks, Colby. Football fans will rejoice this spring as the XFL returns after holding their draft this week. While the league will not be a feeder to the NFL, the two plan on partnering to develop new rules and technological innovations for the football world. JMU alumni Ben DiNucci will join the Seattle Sea Dragons, making him one of many football players who will have a renewed chance to continue chasing their dreams. Mason Ash, an advisor to college athletes, spoke on the importance of the league's return to the football world.
A very valuable role. I mean, I think you want to be able to give people a chance to live out their dream. And there are athletes that are football athletes who want to play football after college, at the highest level possible.
Those roles refer not only to the chances provided for players, but as well as new job opportunities for league executives. While some students may recognize the faces performing the instruments for the Marching Royal Dukes, many of us are unaware of the other individuals that helped to bring the show together. Let's take a look into the organization and logistics behind a game day for the MRDs and hear from the people who make it happen. While most students spend their Saturdays sleeping in or tailgating for football, a special group of Dukes rise bright and early for the busy day ahead of them. The Marching Royal Dukes, JMU's renowned marching band, prepares for their game days several hours before kickoff.
Rehearsal starting at about 8 a.m., so that would mean my day would start at about like 6:30 to 7 to get ready and make sure all my stuff is in order.
As a drum major, Varga conducts and keeps the band organized, but other key individuals help to present the band in the most fashionable style.
The music section leaders preside all things in regards to the new music that we get for our shows, and the visual ones kind of coordinate everything that we do in terms of movement.
Outside of the performance itself, the logistics team members help to bring the experience all together.
Anything that needs to be grabbed from the band office during rehearsal, signs that need to be set up in anticipation of an event. We're the first ones there and we're the last ones to leave.
After a long morning of getting warmed up and performing on the quad,
following that we move into the stands.
It's time to march inside Bridgeforth for the main attraction. But how does the group keep their composure with all the hard hits and bright lights?
We have really good communication.
We live by our memo. We stick to that religiously, and that's how we organize ourselves.
And with a shout from Varga, instruments shoot into the sky.
The whole band, they have little flip books that have the music on it, so they can just read through it. I believe it's 22 different songs.
As students, alumni, and fans within are treated to the best sounds on campus. Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Eric Shellhouse. That's all we have for sports. Joshua and Maggie, back to you.
Don't leave just yet. There's plenty more to gobble up.
Inclusivity while watching a Frozen stage.
Plus, rolling down and dirty with the roller derby.
Then, a blossoming new leader in poetry.
Stay tuned for the rest of our Thanksgiving feast.
Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Breakfast so good, we serve it all day. Get the best chicken biscuit. The one, the only Cajun Filet Biscuit. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time. The one, the only Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Nothing compares to our signature Cajun spiced chicken breast filet on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit is so good, we serve it all day. For a limited time, get 2 Cajun Filet Biscuits for just $5. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Tailgating is a song heard across campuses, parking lots, and open fields. They say this song can be heard elsewhere, and perhaps this is true, but it is nowhere near as bright, nowhere near as loud, nowhere near as triumphant as it is right here. Tailgating may not have been born here, but here is where tailgaters are born.
Head to Bojangles for a Chicken Supremes combo with your choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and a drink. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom
Reaching residential areas.
and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
This is Breeze TV.
Harrisonburg has been selected as one of the 15 communities for the Levitt Foundation AMP grant. The Friendly City will earn $90,000 to host a free music series over 3 years. The main goal of the grant is to, quote, foster community pride and a sense of belonging for all. The next step is for the Burg to create a volunteer committee to help sponsor the event.
Exciting news for Harrisonburg. Well, the cold never bothered me anyway. Students of Skyline Middle School who put on a sensory performance of Frozen Jr. For this to be achieved, the cast and crew turned the theater lights up, used no special effects, the music was low, and the cast introduced themselves before the performance. Jen Middleton, director and theater teacher, believes that theater has the ability to reach multiple ages and audiences.
To add the sensory performance, it's just really important to me that theater is accessible to everyone, and I think there are some families who have students who are in a program who unfortunately may not feel welcome in all audiences, and I wanted to make sure that they had a space to come and enjoy an afternoon at the theater with their families.
Middleton says that she received enough support from the school administration. Parents also volunteered to make the show a success. She encourages people to catch the weekend performance at the school auditorium and bring their best costumes tonight at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 2 and 7 p.m. Tickets for adults are $6 and $2 for kids K through 12.
The Rocktown Rollers represented Harrisonburg by taking to the rinks at the Autumn Jan tournament. Our reporter Sam Game laced up her skates and gained some insight on their lively community.
Rolling with the punches on the rink? These derbiers say that they can always rely on their team.
Literally everything that you can imagine a family would do for you, this family does for us.
The Rocktown Rollers are Harrisonburg's one and only flat track roller derby team. Since 2009, they have been representing the Burg in competitions all over the state.
We have people from all walks of life, so we get to really learn in depth about people that you might not encounter otherwise. So I think it's just a really well-rounded place to be.
Several players said that the inclusive environment is what drew them to the sport.
We just value every kind of gender identity, every kind of body type, every kind of physical abilities. We just value that and we make a place for them on our team. It's so many beautiful people all supporting each other all the time.
While they have had the support of their teammates, the Rollers have had a hard time rebuilding the organization since the gas leak explosion that demolished Funky Skate Center in 2020.
COVID year one, something happened with the strip mall, if you remember, and the rink blew up. And so we had to get the whole community together to rebuild our rink so we had a place to come back to.
However, the love that they have for both the sport and the team keep them coming back to the rink.
I love it. I'm never going to stop. It's friends, it's community, it's athleticism. I've been able to do things I never thought possible and had just great people with me pushing me the whole way.
Reporting for Breeze TV, I'm Sam Game.
Our reporter Sam Game sat down with the assistant director of the Furious Flower Poetry Center, Elle Renee, with new changes to the center. They discussed the importance of keeping historical archives.
The importance of kind of presenting that history at JMU, which is a PWI. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's so important because there are elements of our story as a nation that so few people know, particularly my interest in coal camps in West Virginia. I go to places and people say to me, whoa, when I think about West Virginia, I have a very particular image. I don't think about people who look like you. And I'm really grateful that people share that with me because I think that's something that's missing from some of our national discourse. The work that coal miners and their families did really paved the way for America to be in business the way that it is today. And that idea of going into the belly of a mountain where every day you risk your life, every day you don't know if you're going to come out on the other side, and people are collaborating across language and culture for producing something. That is like a story that so few people know. I'm very much proud of being the granddaughter of a coal miner who worked for 43 years, who died of black lung disease. And so it's really important to me for people to get a sense of our story. Complicated, yes, race relations were complicated in those camps, but it's another way into looking at how people interacted with one another.
Great stuff there from Sam.
And we just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, stay safe, and go home and relax.
Remember, Dukes, watch out for one another.